All right, folks, we are here today to review the Alaska Guide Creations Ravus Flex. While the harness and the pack is fine on its own, the problem starts the moment you try to build the system out. Now, to clarify, I needed a Bino harness that would fit the HDX Pro 16 by 50s. These are not a particularly wide pair of binos, but they are a very tall pair of binos, which really limits the number of harnesses that these will fit in. And the Ravus Flex was one of the options. Now, in addition to that, I like an extremely comprehensive chest system, which means I typically like 2 side pockets or an ability to carry my phone, a rangefinder, and then some type of bottom pocket where I can carry, extra things like elk calls or Arca adapters for filming or extra wind checker, bear predator calls, all kinds of stuff. I like the ability to kind of have a final approach system on my chest. So again, when you combine the need to carry the 16 by 50s and the need to have multiple attached pockets, it really limits the number of systems that fulfill these qualifications. Now, before we dive into the specs of this particular harness system, I want to give you a quick update about Forged in the Backcountry. I am blowing out all the lifestyle apparel on the site. We're going through a major overhaul at Forged as far as the direction that we're going and the products that we're going to be launching. So I have all the lifestyle apparel on at clearance prices. So if you're interested in the last chance at any of the lifestyle apparel, head on over to forgedinthebackcountry.com. Okay, let's dive into the specs. Right out of the gate, this is a magnet-free system, which I know matters to a lot of you guys. In addition to that, it is very versatile for sizing. You can fit multiple different sizes of binoculars in this system, primarily due to the flexible lid. It has a great harness. My go-to harness for almost 7 years was the original Alaska Guide Creations Kiss Cub Max system, and it has the same harness as this. I really like this harness. It tends to stay off the back of my neck and doesn't kind of chafe at the back of my neck. It stays tight to my upper chest and doesn't drop down onto my stomach. It stays kind of tight under the armpits, and just overall, it's a good harness system. This Bino harness also does a really good job of holding these binos in, even when the lid is open, as it covers nearly 80% of the bino, so it's not top heavy, and it doesn't have a tendency when you're bending over for these to come tipping out, which some of the other systems that we're gonna look at in the coming weeks do. And again, as I already mentioned, I really like this lid. Super easy to use, one-handed, open, close, and it's very easy to flip down in front. Some other lids have a tendency to kind of snap back closed, and so it doesn't prohibit one-handed use of the binos at all. So in final approaches on archery situations, I really enjoy this lid. Now let's dive into where this Bino harness really starts to fall apart for me, and that is in the attachment of the accessories. So let's take a moment and look at how the accessories actually attach. So we'll start with the one on the bottom here. Essentially, you have these kind of like really big gatekeepers. And what you can do with those, so there's essentially this moly connector system down here. You slide these gatekeepers through. You have a couple different attachment mechanisms. And then for additional stability, you have this strap that you can slide through and clip back on. So that is how the bottom pocket goes on. Now, there is not a particularly good phone side attachment system from Alaska Guide Creations, so I kind of use this Kuiu knockoff one, but we'll leave it to the side for now, and we will use the same kind of gatekeeper mechanisms to attach the rangefinder pocket. All right, so now we have everything attached back on. Now here's where the system kind of falls apart for me. I've loaded some stuff up here in the bottom, and I want you to look at how much play is down here. I'm gonna stand up. Now, if you are walking around, like look at this is insane. Who wants this thing smacking up and down into their belly every time they walk around? Like the fact that this has so much movement is insane to me. Now, if we go to the Rangefinder pocket, the Rangefinder pocket is better. Here's the problem though. It locks in both sides of the strap. Like if you want to be able to access this strap to use it, you have to take this gatekeeper off every single time. The problem for that arises if you want to put a second attachment mechanism on the other side. You will also lock up both sides of this strap. And when you do that, you cannot take off either strap without physically removing some of the gatekeepers on both sides, which means you are essentially limited to only having 2 accessory pockets instead of 3. Some of the other things that I don't particularly enjoy about this setup. So here's some windicator. You will see this is like pretty short, and this has a tendency to just, if this gets caught on something, it can pull out super easy. Also, if you're using windicator on this side, you are locking out the ability to use this Moly connector here. So it's just not a particularly good design. Now, before we get into my final thoughts and recommendations, quick update on Mindful Hunter outfitting. I have 2 spots left open for bear hunts this spring. I have 1 spot the week of April 26th and 1 spot the week of June 7th. Other than that, I am 100% sold out for bear hunts in 2026. And I have 2 spots open for Alberta archery mule deer the 2nd week of October. So if anybody's interested in either of those hunts, hit me up, jay@mindfulhunter.com. Other than that, 2026 is completely sold out, and 2027 is already starting to book up. So if you're interested in a future hunt, get at me as soon as possible before everything books up. Okay, so let's kind of start at the top and go over this again, because this is not a particularly complicated review. If you are just looking for a chest pack that is got a solid harness and holds like a large pair of binos, like the 16 by 50s or even a 15 by 56, I think this is the Ravus Flex does a really great job. However, if you are more of a comprehensive style system and you want to start putting on some additional attachments, I should also note there is a magnet in the Rangefinder pocket. So while this system is magnet free, the Rangefinder is not. So let's take a moment and actually talk about the Rangefinder pocket. So one-handed usability is kind of my ultimate qualification, or the ultimate thing that I'm concerned about with Rangefinder pockets. And I do not find this one to be particularly good. Part of it has to do with this felt lining that is on the inside. I think another part of it has to do with the way this lid is attached. Just overall, I find it kind of a finicky mechanism. I don't find it stays open particularly well. I don't find it particularly easy to access it and, get it in and put it back with just one hand. So not only do the accessories not attach particularly well, they're not particularly functional in themselves. Like, see, even just sitting here trying to clip this, there's such a thin bit of material on the back, and this kind of digs into your chest so much that I have to use a second hand to pull the Rangefinder pocket out, snap the lid closed, and then let it go. And you'll see this whole side here still stays completely open. Like, It's just really disappointing design. I gotta be honest with you, like I was expecting much more from Alaska Guide Creations. They've been around for a really long time. The chest packs themselves are very good and the harnesses are very good. And I think what might be at the heart of the issue is that Alaskan Guide Creations has always been known for like an all-in-one system. Like that Kiss Cub Max I used to run had a bottom pocket built into it, had great side pockets built into it, and also had a front pocket for your rangefinder built into it. So it really had everything I was looking for. Unfortunately, some of the pockets were a bit too small, but 8-9 years ago when I first bought it, it really did a very good job of everything I was looking to do. And so because I think they had that all-in-one design, I think that was so integral to their design philosophy that then we started branching out and they tried to do a new system that was based more on modularity and being able to put different pockets on. It just didn't go very well for them. Again, this is just insane to me. The fact that this flops around like this is just a huge fail. The fact that you can't use this very well one-handed is another fail. And the fact that there's no way for me to put 2 accessory pockets, one on each side, and still somehow use one of the straps so I can physically get in and out of the Bino harness, again, third fail. So 3 strikes, you're out. But again, I will reiterate, if you're just looking for a super solid harness with a nice chest pack and you're not concerned about these additional pockets, I think the Ravus Flex does a great job. But if you're looking to build a more modular, comprehensive system, for me, this one just doesn't cut it. So there you have it, folks. My thoughts on the Ravus Flex Bino harness system from Alaska Guide Creations. If you stay tuned later this week, I'm going to review a Bino harness system that I think was able to solve all the problems that the Ravus Flex couldn't. If you enjoy unbiased, unsponsored gear reviews like this, please head on over to mindful-reviews.com. Sign up for one of the subscriptions. It enables me to make more of this content for you guys. I greatly appreciate the support. If you could take a moment to engage with this content in any way, shape, or form, like, comment, share, subscribe, again, I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, thank you for tuning in.